I'm here today to recruit you to be a voice for the poor, for our neighbors in need, and in our communities where you live. I'm asking you to do this for 3 reasons. First, our church and our gospel instructs us to do so. Second, our neighbors deserve it. They have a right, created in the image of God, to be able to work towards food, shelter, and security. Third, we as Vincentians know we need to work together to tackle issues of poverty. We cannot do it alone. We cannot feed the hungry, shelter the unsheltered, or pay for all of our neighbors' utilities by ourselves. We gather up, we go out 2 by 2 in that work together. In that same way, we cannot change our city, state, or country alone, but we advocate together. The Society's mission statement says we have a responsibility to advocate for our neighbors in need. Our church instructs us to do this. Jesus tells us when we advocate for those in need, we advocate for him.
Charity and advocacy are not enemies, they're companions. To paraphrase Blessed Frederick's famous quote, charity is the hand that wipes away the tear. Advocacy is the courage to stop the injustice that caused the tear. Charity saves lives today. Advocacy transforms lives for tomorrow. To honor our heritage, we must continue our beautiful works of charity. Never stopping, always charity, always love. And to embrace change, we must also embrace advocacy as an essential arm of our mission. If we want to address poverty, not just temporarily soothe it, we want to reduce unnecessary dependency, not just complain about it, then advocacy must be part of our DNA.
A direct gift is beautiful. I mean, we give people fuel, we prevent them from getting evicted. People call us angels. I mean, it is a wonderful thing. But I think advocacy goes a little bit beyond, and it digs a little deeper. Sort of like a doctor, like they might bandage a wound up, but what if they didn't ask what caused the wound?
It means to look at people as God looks at them. It means that God created people with an inherent dignity, with love, and we treat people with charity to help them immediately. But if we don't advocate for them, for the voiceless, we're not treating them as God wants us to treat them.
As Vincentians, we're called to love our neighbors. Not that we provide charity, but we're called to love. So I think that charity is not enough. I think that, again, providing concrete services and needs is one thing. But love calls us to do more. It calls us to be there with them in their need, again, to do everything that we can with them. Love is what we've been called to do as Christians. Jesus didn't tell us to be charitable to one another. He told us to love one another. And with that can come charity. But I don't think they're the same thing. Charity can be easy. Love can be very challenging and difficult.
Poverty is not a neutral issue. Hunger is not non-political. Lack of housing is not simply a coincidence. Every one of these conditions is impacted by legislation, budgets, funding priorities, and civic decisions. To pretend otherwise is to close our eyes to reality, to put our heads in the sand and hope it will all go away without us having to do the hard work. Let me tell you this, if you don't already know it, it won't.
Like our work that we do as Vincentians, our charity work, we know that that's not enough to change the lives of those we help, that we need to make changes that are transformational, hopefully, in our society.
This is not anything that's political at all. We need to talk to our legislators. After all, they do represent us, and we do pay their salary, so they should be listening to what we're saying. For those who are in need, who are voiceless, think of all the people in our neighborhoods, in our conferences, who have no voice, and we are that voice.
Advocacy means that we are to look at the legislation, the laws that are currently in place, and see where God is missing.
Poverty is not just bad luck. Poverty is not just individuals making mistake. Poverty is often the result of broken systems and short-sighted policies. A lack of affordable housing, a minimum wage that does not sustain a family, a healthcare network that leaves people behind, gaps in education access, marginalized neighborhoods that receive fewer investments but higher policing. When we ignore policies, we only ever dig the same trench over and over and over again, giving out food but never asking why grocery stores disappeared from certain neighborhoods, handing out coats in the winter but never asking why is it that so many working families still can't afford heating oil. When we step into advocacy, though, our charity becomes amplified. Instead of just filling empty stomachs, we create food policies that bring down hunger rates across generations. Instead of endlessly handing out bus fare, we push for transportation systems that are dependable, accessible, and affordable for all. Instead of treating homelessness as an endless one-by-one crisis, we push for zoning, housing initiatives, and rental protections that prevent thousands from losing their homes. This is not an abstraction. This is the multiplication of mission. It is the difference between serving 100 people today and transforming the lives of hundreds of thousands of people tomorrow.
And that's what we need to do, is break the cycle of poverty for people rather than just keep handing them things. They want their own dignity.
What were the systems, frankly, that are in place that we need to change so that you do not go hungry? So charity is the beginning, but we want to work with charity and justice.
It's really important to see that we have a responsibility to each other. When I talk to the civic associations, or I go to the PTAs, and I ask them, look at your neighbors, see what's going on. What can we all do collectively to help each other, to support each other? No one should be hungry. No one should be homeless. We should all be working together on this. So we are feet to the ground.
A while back, we worked with Long Island Jobs for Justice. When I say work with, we invited them to our conference and opened it to our parishioners and other interested agencies to run a workshop for us. Certainly, we were considering immigrants, but even our neighbors here that are faced with needing to go to evictions, court proceedings, and we have found that when we have accompanied them, it has made a difference in the attitudes and the way they're treated in the courtroom.
Many of our Catholic bishops have written letters and have tried to influence Congress to change the policies that are going after our people, our immigrants who are not criminals. And Bishop Barris wrote a letter, and he and other bishops signed the letter. The issue that now we Vincentians are trying to do is also to have our priests and churches inform our people of what we're trying to do, trying to help our people in ways that charity cannot do alone.
When we're talking to Vincentians and we're talking about voice for the poor, that it's, I think, starting at the conference meetings and what is presented there and what's offered there by the voice of the poor member can make a big difference in how things are viewed and what goes forward with that conference.
Sometimes we think about helping a neighbor as a transaction. He needs help, you give them something. But Voice of the Poor goes beyond that, and I want Vincentians to know that. What can we do to have that neighbor not come back to us? Give them the self-sufficiency and the agency to not come back because they are on their feet. So it isn't just give and take, but what can we do more? And how can we change so that their poverty does not exist? does not exist on Long Island.
We need to make the faces of the poor real. That more than anything else is what we need to do. It's easy to talk about legislation and bills, but these things affect real people, and we need to make their faces seen, their voices heard, and their needs met. And I think that's really where our feet need to go.
You can show someone a bowl of soup and say, this is love. It's hard to argue with that. Advocacy, on the other hand, gets messy. It asks us to step into debate, into legislative chambers, into city hall meetings, where not everyone's going to agree with us. But if we do not speak in those rooms, others will. And it will not always be with compassion for the poor in their hearts. If developers, lobbyists, and industries are the only ones speaking, then policies will be shaped by those priorities. The voice of faith, the voice of charity, the voice of justice must also be present. And there is nothing unfaithful about this. In fact, it is profoundly faithful. In fact, it was mandated by Christ himself. The prophets of the Old Testament were not shy about calling out kings and leaders. Jesus himself was not silent about unjust structures. To step into advocacy is not to drift from our mission, it is to live it more fully. It was the foundation of the philosophy of Blessed Frederick Ozanam when he started the society. Because what is the point of feeding endless lines of hungry people if those lines only grow longer and longer every year? We were not founded just to manage poverty. We were founded to help end it. And with God's help and with the courageous public advocacy, we can and we will.